I am a Stu believer. I think he's alive and will return in Scream 7. Let's discuss a few ways I think he could have survived his injuries. That is a lot of people's biggest issue. People who don't believe that he's alive think there's no way that he could have survived a TV falling on his head, but I don't think that's true. First of all, we have to remember that this is a movie and anything is possible. Look at what past characters have survived. Chad, for example, has been stabbed like 30 times between 5 and 6. And Stu was only stabbed 4 times total. One of them was just on his arm. And that is something that has happened to a lot of past characters, getting just a slice on their arm and they walk it off like it's nothing. So he was stabbed a total of 4 times. Also, if you look at this photo, he braced himself for impact. He had his hands up. Think about it like when you're walking down the street and you trip, you instinctively hold your hands out to protect your face so that your face doesn't just slam on the concrete. I also don't think that the TV weighed all that much. Sometimes people act like the TV weighs 1,000 pounds, but if we look in Scream 6, when Kirby throws the TV at Ethan, it goes flying. And Kirby, she's a petite girl. She's probably not super strong. So for her to be able to just throw the TV like that, it can't weigh that much. Also, if we look at the TV in Scream 6, it's hollow inside. So I don't think that the TV crushed his head like a lot of people think, but rather his head went through it. So sure, the glass broke and probably sliced up his face a little bit, but it didn't crush his head. Stu was also electrocuted, and a lot of people think that he couldn't survive that. But we have to remember, Jill in Scream 4 was also electrocuted. She got the defibrillator straight to her head. Her brain was fried, and that is not what killed her. She still got up after that. So Jill was electrocuted and survived. Stu was electrocuted, definitely could have survived that. And finally, the last time we see Stu, he is still breathing. You have to look very closely at the scene. Just before the camera pans away from him, you can see his stomach kind of moving, like he's still breathing. And according to Wes Craven, that means he could have survived. Someone tweeted at Wes Craven in 2012, "Do you think Kirby Reed is really dead?" And he said, "I don't think so. The last time we see her, she's still moving." So according to Wes Craven's rule, Stu was still moving the last time we see him. He could have survived. Another issue that people have is that it's been so long. Like, where has Stu been all this time? I mean, if you think about it with Kirby, we thought she died in Scream 4, and then we don't find out that she's alive until, like, what, 11 years later? 11 years is still a big chunk of time. 30 years is longer. But like I said earlier, we have to remember it's a movie. Anything is possible.